10 Keys to Happiness from Natalia Kolbilkina. The book which changed more than 100,000 people. Writer Natalia Kolbilkina. Natalia is a renowned and world-famous sexologist and family therapist who delivers trainings on happy relationships, sex, and living life in abundance. With her live seminars and online webinars, Natalia has transformed the lives of people from over 150 countries around the world. More than 500,000 people have been touched by Natalia's work through her courses, lectures, marathons, and individual sessions. Forbes call her one of the most talented entrepreneur women in personal development. Natalia has conducted about 30,000 training sessions for women, men, and married couples in the UK, Italy, Greece, Bulgaria, Thailand, Brazil, etc. Her individual coaching sessions exceed 10,000 hours, and many celebrities are her clients. She is a family therapist, educator, author, sexologist, and author of numerous articles on relationships and sex. She created one of the most famous seminars for women, Geisha, which has changed the lives of more than 100,000 women in the world. It is based on the extremely powerful family constellations method that reveals the hidden dynamics in a family or relationship that are blocking us from a family life. The method is very successful in healing such relationships and removing blocks that are holding us back. Read the new book from Natalia and change your life today. After my third book about the journey of the happy woman, I started getting letters from men telling me that they wanted to find out the steps leading to their happiness as well. Each and every person was born to be happy. Every single one. No exceptions. You in particular, the person reading these lines right now, were born to be happy. Say it out loud. I was born to be happy. How do you feel saying it? Write down your feelings and thoughts on the subject. List everything that comes to your mind. Don't put any limits. This book's task is to help you allow yourself to be happy. Because the only person restraining you from being happy is you. There's no one else. Other people are just your mirrors and projections. You'd probably say, okay, if we were in fact born to be happy, why did death, illnesses, and problems exist? Who creates them? The answer is you. You create all the problems in your own life. Of course, there are concepts such as karma, generic programs, problems during childbirth itself and prenatal development, and many other factors. However, after working with thousands of people, I found 10 keys that help in spite of all of those factors. I guarantee that if you start tenaciously executing these practices, your life will change radically. It took me many years of studying and practice to figure out the basic mistakes people make and many ways in which they destroy their own happiness. I've conducted trainings and seminars in many different parts of the world, and I've spoken to thousands of participants. In the end, I've reached the conclusion that there are only 10 keys to happy relationships. If you want to find out how to be a happy person, how to improve and develop your marriage or relationship, how to bring more love into your life, how to become aware of the mistakes you make and what needs to be changed. If you're already tired of picking wrong partners, feeling like a victim, savior, or tyrant, at times losing faith in love, not getting pleasure out of life, not being able to find balance between work and your personal life, living a stressful life. If you've decided to finally choose to be happy, this is the book for you. Attention! This book contains many assignments. If you want to make the most out of it, it's obligatory to work on them. It won't be possible to change your life just by reading. But if you are persistent and follow exactly what I tell you, I guarantee that after 100 days, your life will be completely different. If you still have doubts that's even possible, I want to share with you a few of the metamorphoses that happened to some of the people I've advised. 1. A woman with 2 children and a sick mother was taking care of her entire family. She was tired and exhausted all the time. She started living according to a system I taught her, and 3 months later she met the man of her dreams. They moved together to another country, and now he takes care of her and her family. Her job is creative, and she's practicing it only because it gives her pleasure. 2. Another woman was working at a financial company, and she was way more successful than her partner. She started living according to our system and got pregnant after 100 days, and her partner became manager of a company. They moved to the house of their dreams, left the noisy city, and nowadays she's living as a happy woman and a mother at the seaside. 3. After 25 years of marriage, a man fell in love with a young woman who works as an office manager and left his wife with whom he'd started a successful business. He took everything and left her out of a job, home, and family. She started living according to our new system, started her own business, and met a new man that loves her deeply. In her 50s, she found out for the first time what it feels like to be really adored, and at the moment she travels the world with her new love. 4. There was a man that wanted to construct a big project, but did not have the money for it. He started living according to the system, and soon after that, he received European funding. He built a huge project and invited me to the big opening. Miracles do happen. The reason our trainings are always full is because the participants achieve results afterwards, and people around them witness that, and thus want to take part themselves. An important element of a person's development is selflessly serving others. To me personally, this is fundamental. It is the why I'm sharing with you my experience and knowledge for free, solely for one reason: that you find happiness. Your happiness in particular makes my life much happier. All the things I'll offer you work. You just have to apply them. If you're ready to change your life, then welcome to the world of happy people. Key 1. Clarifying the relationship with your mother and father. No matter what kind of parents you have, the responsibility of maintaining a good relationship with them is actually ours. It's vital to love, respect, and show them that they are worthy. Until we manage to achieve that, we'll always have problems with our partners and our children. It's important to accept the fact that children choose their parents as well as the fact parents choose their children. And that does not always happen by chance. These are exactly the parents that will be necessary so that we are able to learn all those things that will help us develop. That does not mean that you should call them every day or live together with them. On one hand, it's necessary to feel them close enough to share with them difficult and happy moments of your life, and on the other, to feel independent when they give their opinions and do what you think is right, and to allow things to happen in your life the way it never happened in theirs. In spite of all the people criticizing Sigmund Freud and psychoanalysis, it's partly true that everything results from our childhood. If you were not happy as a child and have restrained beliefs since that stage of your development, there's no way that's not affecting you in the present. And of course, you'll always continue to carry these restrictions inside of you. That's why we have to clear them up. How do we do that? Sit down and make yourself comfortable. Imagine your parents in front of you. In your mind, try to look at your mother and father. Note their appearances, the way they're dressed, their age, the things they seek and want. If they are happy or suffering, just watch them without doing anything in particular. And when you feel you're connected with them, in a way, say out loud, "Dear Mother, thank you." List at least 10 to 15 nice things for which you are thankful to her. For example, "Thank you for having me. Thank you for the wonderful way I grew up. Thank you for teaching me to walk, talk, write. Thank you for staying awake many nights because of me. Thank you for always finding kind words to say to me." Continue with this list. You'll see you'll feel so much better afterwards. I admire you for... List all the things about your mother you admire. For example, I admire your beauty and strength. I admire your ability to stand up for yourself. I admire your femininity. List at least 10 to 20 things that you admire your mother for. We are used to judging our parents and always pointing the things that are wrong with them. However, it is important to learn to do something entirely different. I accept that you. Think of all the things about your mother that irritate you and grant yourself the opportunity to accept them. For example, I accept that you do not always understand me. I accept that you love to control everything. I accept that sometimes you get offended over nothing. Remember a very important rule. If you do not accept something in other people, especially in your parents, it will always come back to you. Forgive me. For example, forgive me for judging and not understanding you. Forgive me for not always being beside you through difficult times. I forgive you for. Forgive your parents for being only human just like you are, and not being the most perfect ones in the world. The things I've always wanted to tell you. If you trust and love your mother completely, what would you want to tell her? For example, I love you very much. You're the most wonderful mother in the world. You were right about many things after all. The things I've always wanted to hear you say. For example, I've always wanted to hear you say you're really proud of me, that I'm very important to you, that I'm a wonderful son, daughter. Accept all those things as if you really heard your mother say them. Now repeat the same steps with your father. Even if he's not a part of your life or you don't know him, you can still express all these things. It is very important that you say all these things. Please do not continue reading until you finish this exercise. There simply wouldn't be any use. As a result of my big experience, I dare claim that as long as you have problems, disagreements, and have claims on your mother and your father, it would be impossible to lead a happy life. Write a letter containing all of the above. Say it out loud, and in any case your parents are still alive, say it to them truly and from all of your heart. This conversation will clear the way to your feelings. If your heart is blocked and you do not allow yourself to express feelings and emotions, you won't be able to achieve normal relationships with other people. If you follow everything I've recommended in the first key, maybe that would be enough to change things. If your parents are not alive anymore, do the assignment at home or visit their graves. Love between a child and his/her parents is the foundation of happiness. The Bible says it as well. Key 2. Learn to love yourself and put yourself first. There are so many books and articles on the subject. You are probably thinking, I know that. However, if you're not applying it in real life, that means you don't really know it. Love yourself. When you love yourself, you won't allow yourself to feel offended or be offended, get angry or feel bitter. When you love yourself, you realize those emotions are destructive for the body, and you do not let them in. When you love yourself, you choose your own mood and live in harmony with yourself. Most people are not capable of loving themselves. They always find problems inside themselves. They criticize themselves too much and are not able to acknowledge their success and just keep wanting more. Stop being critical towards yourself. One of the things I've noticed about happy people is that they like absolutely everything they do as well as everything about themselves. They enjoy their bodies, their qualities, and are very supportive of themselves when they fail. Exercise. Write down the worst words you know that you heard when you were little. Say those words out loud and imagine you're telling them to your inner child, that small magical creature inside you that was born only a few years ago. Pay attention to the way that makes you feel. It's not pleasant at all, is it? Then why are you constantly doing it to yourself? Now write the opposite of those negative words. For example, you are my sunshine. You are my miracle. You can do anything. You are great. You were meant for happiness and beauty. Imagine once again that you're saying all of these things to that little child inside of you. Feel the positive effect this has on you. From now on, you're only allowed to dress yourself using kind and tender words of love. Always. Even if you get in trouble, start loving yourself because of that too. If you find it difficult to achieve that by yourself, the training How to Love Yourself is just the thing for you. Exercise. Before you go outside, stand in front of the mirror. Look at yourself with love and pay yourself 5 compliments, at least. Focus on your positive sides, and remember the ones that you don't like still serve a purpose, which is why they exist in the first place. Write down 100 of your good qualities and keep adding to the list every day. From this moment forward, you'll only praise and admire yourself. Key 3. Figure out what you want and achieve it investing all possible efforts. It's important to know what you want, what your values are, and not to let anyone force their opinion upon you. It's normal if your desires change in time, and you find yourself considering something that was your focus in the past not at all important anymore. Pick a purpose for the day, week, month, year, next few years, and write them down. It is important to recognise there's a difference between the wishes of men and women. Quite often men blame women we don't know what we want. That is not true. We know what we want, but the thing is that most of the time our wishes manifest as feelings. For example, I want to feel happy. I want to feel secure. I want to be certain that I can handle anything. At the same time, men's purposes are usually more measurable and specific. For example, I want a BMW 7, or I want €100,000 in the bank. That is to say, to men wishes like I want to be happy are weird and unclear. The problem is that the universe also perceives our wishes too literally and finds it easier to grant us a car than happiness every day. So let's try and make our wishes a bit more masculine. How to set purposes. There's a very nice SMART system for setting goals. The goal has to be S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, result-orientated, T, time-connected. I'll give you an example. Imagine you're writing a letter to the universe, and you have to describe in specifics what you want. In case you're a woman, Dear Universe, thank you for sending me to the most wonderful man in the world. He's 40 years old, works in the field of spiritual development, and leads a healthy life. My partner wants to have a family and kids with me. We laugh a lot and have so much fun together and travel the world. We evolve together and take care of each other. He's European and his monthly income reaches €20,000, and he lives in Europe. We meet on November 15th, 2015, and our wedding is on February 20th, 2016. Or in case you're a man. Dear Universe, I achieve everything easily and I attract women like a magnet. I'm thankful that I succeed without any effort at my job and get richer and richer. I feel like a magnet for money, and they keep coming to me no matter what I do. Furthermore, my health is changing, and every morning I wake up from a massive erection. There's a beautiful woman beside me that makes me feel happy. Our kids are healthy and we travel all over the world. I make my goals come true. Note, there are a lot of verbs. First-person narrative mode, singular, I. Everything is told in present tense, as if it's already a part of life. For example, you shouldn't say, I want to meet the man of my dreams. That's too unclear to the universe. Exercise. Using this system, write down all your wishes concerning your personal and professional life, as well as your creative development and health. Get used to marking clear and specific goals in every activity. When you work on your goals, it's obligatory to use visualization too. As you desire to have love in your life, after you wake up in the morning, imagine hugging the man you love and making breakfast for him or your children waking you and sensing the smell of wood in your new beautiful house. It is important that you do that every day for at least 20 to 40 minutes. When you wake up, fall asleep, or while driving, during 30 to 100 days. You should constantly keep in your mind the things you want to achieve, and imagine you already have. Your surroundings should match your dreams. Be surrounded by people that already have the things you need. That means they've already reached a high vibration, and since you meet with them, you're close too. Diminish to a minimum communicating to people who bring you down and whine constantly, or at least ask them to share only positive things if you have to meet. If you want to develop on a large scale and become truly wealthy, you're welcome to attend the course How to gain plenty in our life. Key 4. Care for our physical body. Just psychology won't do the trick. Your psyche lives in a physical body, and it needs to be very well maintained. If you eat junk, you can't keep your high vibration. We are what we eat. Things you should erase from your diet. All packaged goods, cold cuts, flat sausage, biscuits, chips, canned food, frozen food. All that's not natural should be thrown out. Alcoholic drinks, cigarettes, coffee, and drugs. Dirt in your home. Your house should be clean and neat as well as your computer. If you need one of the listed drugs, that means you don't love yourself and you're not happy. Children don't like alcohol and cigarettes. I remember when I was little, adults used to gather at parties and drink beer. So I decided to try it too, but I didn't like it at all. However, since I wanted to be a grown-up too, I thought that if adults enjoyed it, it must be good, and I told my parents that I liked it. I made a great effort to learn to drink beer. Afterwards, I removed that habit from my life, and nowadays I really do not like alcohol. I know that drinking is just a way to run away from a problem. It's the same thing when it comes to coffee. If you can't wake up without drinking coffee, that means you either do not get enough sleep, or you're too stressed and need to change jobs, or simply go to bed earlier. Coffee does not solve a problem, but slurs over it. Avoid chocolate and sweets. The desire to consume them shows a need for tenderness. You should get your relationship in order, not stuff yourself with sweets. Meat should be avoided too. If you don't eat meat, your body smells better, your breath changes, and kissing gets much nicer. You'll feel more vigorous and energetic. Things we should include in our menu. Fruits and vegetables 3 times a day. Freshly squeezed juice, green or herbal tea. Organic supplements. 2 to 3 litres of water a day. Work out. Your body needs exercise. Running, fitness, tennis, any kind of exercise is good for you. Make a schedule and start following it. Your body will be grateful. Inside a healthy body lives a healthy spirit. If you're not healthy, everything else loses its meaning. You can find out more on the subject at our seminar, Lecture on Omophagia. Exercise. Learn to feel your body. While eating, try to feel the process inside your body. It reacts to everything that happens. The trick is to learn to be extremely attentive towards it and really hear its voice. Try to separate products so that you can follow the ways your organism reacts. For example, I know that I feel tired and swallowed after eating paste products. Freshly squeezed carrot juice makes me more energetic than orange juice and coffee. Really learn to carefully notice everything that happens in your body. After a while, you'll start noticing the way it reacts towards people, and you'll select more carefully the people you communicate with. Key 5. Love and accepting women. Valid for both sexes. If you're a woman, in order to be truly feminine, you have to accept and like other women, and learn to rejoice at their femininity and beauty. This ability will rediscover your own femininity. If you're a man, in order to have a happy relationship with a woman, you have to truly love women. Each one of us senses if a man loves women or not. Men that are not capable of loving women always have problems with them. I want to explain a few things about the psychology of women. There once was a very famous scientist, C.G. Jung, that once said that every woman carries inside herself the collective unconscious, the so-called women archetypes. Generally there are 7, and very well represented in the part of mythology concerning women. I'll only name 4, and you'll get the picture. Women archetypes. 1. Girl. The goddess Artemis and Persephone. Women that resemble children, very tender, sensitive, and at the same time emotional and touchy. They know how to show their weaknesses and predispose men to take care of them. These women are not ready to become mothers. They are still not able to give. They require constantly. If a woman like that has a child after all, that would be a disaster to her. She would be constantly screaming at it and blame it for ruining her life. If you are still appertain to this archetype, you should wait to have children. These women possess amazing tenderness and grace, and men really want to take care of them and treat them like little princesses. When a woman does not allow herself to experience this archetype, or rejects it, she won't be able to show her weakness and ask for help. In this case, she'll forget that she's a woman and will often feel miserable. Men feel very powerful and successful with this type of woman. They inspire them, but also irritate them at times. That's because women that appertain to this archetype are often irresponsible and refuse to grow up. You cannot have an adult conversation with them, and that makes the relationship difficult. 2. Lover. Aphrodite, of course. These women adore to be surrounded by beauty, to flirt, to seduce men, to seek sensual pleasures. They are nuts about luxury, elegance, and this is exactly the type of woman that as soon as she gets pregnant starts worrying whether she'll expand down there. Sometimes they give birth by caesarean section in order to preserve their vagina. Keep in mind that the vagina widens during birth but restores its normal size after a few months. Besides, you can use Kegel exercises that are available online. If you practice for 30 to 40 minutes every day, preferably using Benoit balls, you can achieve complete recovery of the vagina, even make it tighter. It's only a matter of training and willingness. Aphrodite makes a great mother once the children grow up and become interesting to her. This type of woman change men drastically and make them forget about everything else and simply follow their lead. They inspire men to write poetry, address prayers, and of course make them go crazy in the bedroom. They have no shame, like to walk around naked and show their bodies. They enjoy flirting and dancing. They are well-groomed and perfect seducers. 3. Queen. Athena, the woman warrior. Unfortunately nowadays, this archetype is very widely spread among women, and they very rarely get pregnant, and bringing a baby as well as everything connected to children becomes very difficult. These women are devoted to their careers, and family and children are the last things on their mind. Usually when they do get pregnant, they keep working until the last second and have problems during the birth, so they have to undergo caesarean section. Afterwards, these women cannot breastfeed and rush back to work, and their children are raised by their grandmothers and nannies. I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing, it's just part of their lives. These women change the world through their jobs and give a lot to humanity. Sometimes they don't have children simply because they can't find the time and energy to have a family and children. A queen does not have time to rest. She always has something to do urgently. They are usually devoted to some mission or another that makes their life complete. The only problem is they quite often crush men and do not respect them. They also can't stand spoiled women, thinking they are just a waste of time. These women often end up alone with their work. 4. And the last archetype, which is strongly supported by the patriarchal society. Mother, housekeeper and wife. Hera, Hestia and Demeter. These women dream of having a family more than anything else. They usually get married early, want to have children and simply adore them. The happiest day of their lives is the day they discover they're pregnant. This kind of woman adores little children and devotes her time to them with pleasure. She loves playing with them and reads books on children's psychology. She often works at a kindergarten or is the owner of one. These women are excellent wives. They don't necessarily have jobs, but to them the most important thing is having a family. Their pregnancy passes easily, and to them, giving birth is the most powerful and wonderful experience. These women were born to be wives and to take care of others. They are great housekeepers and create the feeling of coziness and worth around themselves. The optimal situation would be if a woman can combine all of the above. Or to be more accurate, 25% of each. In reality, 2 of the archetypes are present inside most of us strongly, and we have to develop the rest. If something is missing, it creates a crisis. For example, if we are girl and lover, our partner wouldn't respect us, and we would often end up mistress of a man that's in a relationship. If we're mother and queen, he will find a soft, weak, spoilt girl and take care of her more than of us. The good news is you can work on all of that. I wish you lots of balance in your women energies. If you want to develop them, you're welcome to the seminar Happy Women. Exercise. Observe very carefully the qualities in others that irritate you. Think about which of the archetypes finds expression in you more strongly than others, and which is almost completely missing. Start working on the ones that you feel most distant. If you want to work on girl, learn to request and admire others. Learn to remain in the background to a certain degree. If you want to develop lover, straight ahead to new sexual achievements. Flirt, dance, show yourself, seduce men, enjoy your womanhood and sexuality. If you're developing queen, the time has come to create a business plan and put everything in order. Get ready and finish all unfinished business. Think about what you really want. Learn to say no and stand your ground no matter what that would cost you. Learn to be ethical and keep your promises. Stop compromising. Clearly express your needs and desires. However, in order to say what you want, you have to figure it out for yourself first. Be perfectly clear. Here are a few examples how to express your needs. 1. It's important to me that you accept that I work 8 to 19 hours a day and I can't always provide dinner. 2. It's important to me that you help me with the child and take walks with him or her a few times during the week. 3. It's important to me that you are kind and tell me at least 2 to 3 times a day that you believe in me. 4. It's important to me that you initiate sex and make sure there are surprises from time to time. 5. It's important to me that we marry in the next 3 months. 6. I want to simply have sex and feel free to have other partners as well as you, but on condition that we both use a condom always and take care of the other person's health. 7. It's important to me that you support me financially. 8. It's important to me that you understand when I have financial difficulties and require less from me. 9. It's important to me that we live together. As you can see for yourself, I'm simply saying what's important. Trust me, if your partner really loves you, he'll listen and start doing as you say. However, you can remind him of those things from time to time. In his turn, he should say what's important to him. If it's not too difficult for you, start doing it. In order to develop the role of mother and housewife, you should organise family dinners, organise cosy cushions, secure peace in your home, softness, and have children. This archetype is a woman who takes care of things without effort. Accept all the selves you have inside you and enjoy them. As for you, gentlemen, accept the differences between different women and become aware of the type of woman you want beside you. Do not expect that the woman would know how to be everything. She can't, and she shouldn't. Choose the thing you cannot make it without. For example, a friend of mine is married to a woman that is a wonderful mother and housewife, but she doesn't like sex at all. However, to him, family is the most important thing in the world, so he chooses to be with her. I know another couple. The woman is very successful in her career and very sexual, but doesn't even have the slightest desire to be a housekeeper, so they hired a maid. Stop pushing it. Do only as you wish. Key 6. Love and accepting men. For men, it is important that men accept and admire their fathers in order to accept their own masculinity, as well as to be able to confront them at the same time. For women, most women are not capable of loving men. They see in them mama's boys, losers, liars, bad men, or ones that they are not ready to take care of the woman beside them. And of course, these are exactly the men they attract. Where does this wrong adjustment towards men come from? His father and his mother's attitude towards him, of course. Exercise. Think about what your father's like and write down his pros and cons. These are exactly the qualities you see in yourself, for men, or find in the man beside you, for women. This is your screening process. Now, transform your father's qualities. For instance, if you wrote that your father is weak and bad, find the positive sides and say, "My father truly loves himself and succeeds at all times." Write that on a separate paper and start repeating how great your father is. Think of nice times you spent together, and if there aren't any, make them up. Use your imagination. You've got the con. Unless you start seeing your father as a loving, strong, smart, successful man, you'll run into difficulties on your way to being a successful man, or to meeting a decent man. Gentlemen, you should try to set the relationship with your father straight, and support each other as men. You should define, how do I express my masculinity? To what degree am I fulfilled as part of society? Am I doing what I really want? What do I want to achieve, and why haven't I already? How do you and your friends support each other, and do you have many friends that are men? Men as well as women are divided into different archetypes. An American psychoanalytic divides them into two kinds, fathers and sons, and they contain varieties. 1. Fathers. Zeus, Neptune, Hades. All of these men possess an enormous leadership potential. They love to rule and subordinate others. Control, power, and money are like a drug to them. These are men who change the world. They like suits, clear lines, clean shoes, and everything to be neat and exact. They prefer women who obey them and let them lead. 2. The second type is sons. These men are less ambitious and do not try to change the world. They simply want to be happy. They are usually hired workers and are great experts in different fields. There are 5 main variations, and each has its specific strength. Mercury, god of talks and trade. He's good at selling things. Often, he looks quite polished. He likes fast cars. BMW is his favourite kind. Dionysus, bohemian. Poetry, music, beauty are his strengths. Loves wine, romance, and women, of course. He's the creative type. Apollo, a man that is strongly connected to his father and follows the dream he set for him. Right-minded and exemplary. Aries, rebellious and stubborn, does what he wants, and possesses a wonderful primitiveness. Hephaesto, the god blacksmith, husband of Aphrodite. These men handle well tasks that need to be completed with their hands. They often have beautiful wives that are flirts. We discussed this topic in detail at the training about goddesses. Key 7. Take a calculated risk and go for it. Years ago, I started learning MBA, and I'll never forget one day when our strategic management professor walked in, looked at us and asked, "What do you think? What do you need to start a successful business?" And we started listing that you need money, an office, equipment, team. Then he said, "Everything starts with a dream. What is it that you dream about, dear students?" I've had a hobby for many years to read biographies of famous people that describe how they achieved their success. I noticed that all of them took the chance to dream and live their lives as if there will be no tomorrow. It's really important that you realize that. People live as though they were immortal. I often ask myself this question. If there was no tomorrow and today was my last day, how would I spend it? And I truly live every day as if it were my last. That truly motivates you to act. People live their lives waiting and postponing. If you're one of them, stop right now. Exercise. Write down your actions. Make a list containing at least 100 things you'll do during this month. I want to share something with you. A friend of mine really wanted to wear diamonds, but considering her income, that was absolutely unattainable. She started going to diamond stores and trying them on every day. After a month, she got used to having them, although she still could not afford it. Her admirer never gave her any presents. One day she told him, "Please give diamonds to me." It was the first time she dared ask for anything, and moreover, she asked for diamonds. He looked at her and said, "All right." They went to the store and he bought her first diamonds. Men and the universe always give us what we believe we deserve. Are you ready for dreams? Then just go for it. Don't stop until you write down 100 dreams. You have to know what you want, even if it sounds unrealistic at this particular moment. Then choose one and make it true. I remember some time ago I accidentally saw the musical Dracula in Paris. It was fantastic, but since it was in French and I didn't understand anything, I wished for seeing it in Russian someday. A year passed and I decided to celebrate my birthday by going to that musical. It turned out it was premiering in St. Petersburg on the same date, but it was sold out. I went to Russia a day before the premiere, and the tickets were sold out months before that. I decided to go despite that. I went to the ticket office and announced that I wanted a ticket. The selling woman looked at me as if I was a crazy person and said, "We have tickets for the show in a month." I calmly answered, "No, you have a seat for me, and in the VIP suite at that. Please check." Her, "That's impossible, it's sold out." Me, "Check, please." Then she checked, looked at me very oddly and said, "There really is a seat left, but how is that possible?" I knew my dream would come true, and it really did, but I went for it. I didn't just visualize. Exercise. Choose something you want to do but consider impossible right now. Go for it as if the result is guaranteed, and things will turn out the way you want. Write down the specific actions you intend to do, step by step. Imagine it already happened and you'll simply be looking back at your success. What did you do exactly to achieve it? Go for it. Don't wait. It may not happen tomorrow. Exercise. Before taking a chance, ask yourself the following. What's the worst that could happen if I take this chance? What's the best that could happen if I take this chance? What's most likely to happen and will bring me closer to my dream? Answer these questions. The risk has to be precisely calculated, so that if the undertaking doesn't succeed, you'll still be able to keep your strength and ability to move forward. Key 8. Paying back debts and bearing the responsibility. The subject on paying debts is quite wide. It's important that we all know we shouldn't be indebted. Avoid it as much as you can. And I don't just mean money. Unkept promises, books you borrowed and didn't return, CDs, money, all debts steal your energy. All you do not give back, the universe takes from you tenfold, and you'll have to give to someone money in the worst possible moment and when you least expect it. Debt creates debt. All of those things you promised you'll do, but have been postponing. Exercise. Create a table containing the following 3 columns. What I owe others, what others owe me, and what I owe myself. The last one is the most important one. At the quantum psychology seminars, I explained that all of those things you owe yourself are the things others owe you. In so many words, if someone owes you something, that means you owe something to yourself. If you don't have debts to yourself, others won't have debts to you either. Exercise. Create a list containing your debts and start paying back. If a bank granted you a loan, make sure all your payments are delivered on time. If you owe someone money and he died, simply give it to charity. You can learn further on the subject at our training Personal Strength and find out a way to change your life quickly and efficiently. Key 9. Positive thinking and getting used to happiness. You've probably heard this before. Our brains were trained to find problems. I often do an experiment. During seminars, I ask everyone that has a happy family and is used to happiness to raise hands. Usually the percentage of the people that raise their hand is no more than 10. We are used to trouble and stress, used to surviving and always being on the lookout. Since we were little, we've been warned, be careful, do not rush things, nothing comes easy. You have to fight in order to achieve anything. So our life becomes that way, struggle and difficulties. The brain gets used to happiness slowly, and we shouldn't stress it. In the beginning, start noticing good things around you. Become aware of the words you let yourself hear, see, and say. Please stop watching the news and television. You do not need that. Unfortunately, we cannot help people that were already in a plane crash. But news about it will certainly make us more frightened next time we get on a plane. If this fear becomes more common, it will start provoking more crashes. Watch only nice movies about love and beauty. When you become more sensitive, you'll see that all the things I listed start influencing your field, and you won't feel the same after watching movies that contain murders and aggression. Listen to classical music or mantras. Decorate with beautiful photos and paintings. Remove all black clothes from your wardrobe. Stop using the words hate, idiot, awful, scary, no, wrong, quit, worry, can't, believe, bad, hesitate, catastrophe, etc. Start using these words instead. Beauty, light, love, happiness, joy, success, plenty, high vibration, yes, can, dreams, fantasy, allowed, succeed, bravo, create. Notice that they start influencing you. They really do. Words can cure, but they can also crush you as well. Be careful with every word you think or say. Exercise. Start keeping a journal. Spare 5 minutes every morning to clear your head. People should clear their thoughts the same way they brush their teeth. Write about everything that comes to mind without any limitations. Then look at the words you used. What contemplates in your brain? I guarantee that after only a month there will be a huge difference. I've kept journals since the 2nd grade, and I can assure you that it is a unique experience to be able to trace your own development. Sometimes when I read them, I can understand from my present perspective the reasons certain things happened to me in the past. A journal can be a great force and gives you an opportunity to change yourself. We learn more in this subject at the training Ways to Love Myself. Key 10. Constant development. People who want to be happy must develop themselves constantly. Imagine a truly big and beautiful, aristocratic house. What should be in it for sure? A library, of course. When I visited Salvador Dali's house in a small Spanish town, this was the thing that impressed me the most, his amazing enormous library. People who want to be happy advance constantly and read. A book can change the way you think drastically or create new ideas in your head. A seminar can fully transform the way you see the world. Development is no longer a luxury, but a part of life of truly successful people. Statistics show that millionaires read 1 book a week on average. The reason for that is because their brain is hungry for new ideas, thoughts, and development. Happy people never stop because they know that they deserve the best. Exercise. Get accustomed to reading 1 book a week. Underline sentences you like while reading. Copy some of the things that you really loved in a notebook. Attend at least 1 personal development seminar or webinar a month that deals with a topic you find interesting. Study words in another language. At least one new word every day. Communicate with people that are more advanced in a field you're trying to make progress in. Life is constant development. The moment you stop advancing, you're moving backwards. Remember the moment in L. Carroll's book, Alice in Wonderland, when the Queen runs very fast? Alice asks her, "Why are we running so fast?" The Queen answers, "Now here, you see, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. If you want to get somewhere else, you must run at least twice as fast as that." So you see, dear readers, you need to run as fast as you can to get somewhere new. No one is saying it will be easy. This is why only 10 to 20% of all people fulfill their dreams and change reality. The rest fulfill other people's dreams. It's a matter of personal choice. Do I want to fulfill my dreams or keep fulfilling other people's dreams? So these are the 10 keys. Let's sum up. Key 1. Clarifying the relationship with your mother and father. Key 2. Learn to love yourself and put yourself first. Key 3. Figure out what you want and achieve it investing all possible efforts. Key 4. Care for our physical body. Key 5. Love and accepting women, valid for both sexes. Key 6. Love and accepting men. Key 7. Take a calculated risk and go for it. Key 8. Paying back debts and bearing the responsibility. Key 9. Positive thinking and getting used to happiness. And Key 10. Constant development. The moment you start following these methods, you'll see your life will change for the better and will no longer be the same. Responsibility is always common. My job is to tell you these things, and yours is to actually do them. If you want to keep working on yourself, you can continue with the next books containing practical advice. Ways to attract love into your life and have a beloved one beside you. This book talks about relationships with the opposite sex, what men and women want, ways to get ready for a relationship and develop it, what are the most common mistakes people make, and ways to avoid ending up alone. Ways to live in abundance and become rich. This book contains secrets to success and ways to change the way we think in order to attract money. It is based on quantum physics, and once you read it, you'll find out that money depends not so much on your job, rather than on the way you think. Ways to become an amazing lover and manage your sexual energy. If you know how to manage your sexual energy, you can change the world. In China, sex serves for healing diseases. Most people are not familiar with their bodies and simply don't know what they're capable of. This book will teach you how to achieve multiple orgasms, to give pleasure to your partner, and to become true experts when it comes to sex. If you want to ask me something, please write an email to sessions@natalia.bg. For all other information, check out our website at www.kubolkina.com. I hope after this book your life will change and you will feel happy. If you like this book, share it with your friends, and let's have more happy people in this life. I believe in you, and I love you with my open heart. Natalia.